tgpitu, the greatest power in the universe. This book was published sometime in the 1970s, the mid to late 1970s, written by U.S. Anderson. And U.S. Anderson was already a metaphysics author by this point, but he wanted something more, and so he sought in many different ways. In the beginning of this book, they have a list of like 20 some odd things that this book will do for you. It will make you a master, and you put your mind out all the way into the universe, and you'll get answers, and you will have power and live longer. And we talk about it. So, where did I start? So the first thing I should tell you is this guy, he searched everywhere for the answers. And one of those places he searched was in drugs. Surprising. And this is a New Thought metaphysical book. Teachings of the Law of Attraction. And he saw it in drugs. Maybe back then there was more of a naive thought about drugs and addiction, but still. He did cocaine. He did methamphetamines. Speed. He smoked weed, of course. And why are we reading this book? This is supposed to be an uplifting book. Anyways, so he starts doing these weird rituals and practices. And he comes across yoga. It teaches yoga in this book for some reason. The drug book is teaching yoga. And through these yoga techniques, you can become a master. And they're pretty simple. Different from what you will see in... Excuse me. What you will see in most normal yoga books. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long, maybe 15 minutes, half an hour to practice them, maybe quicker. And then on top of that, it teaches a diet called the Ecology Diet. And I seen mention of the Ecology Diet in other books, in book titles, in book subjects, but this is the first time I read about the Ecology Diet. And the thing is, this came out in the 70s, so I'm thinking to myself, was the Ecology Diet created by this man? I guess I have to do more research. But continuing on, this is where it gets interesting. Well, sort of. I'll tell you when it gets interesting. It gets very interesting. So he believes by using different devices, such as what would be called biofeedback devices, you can quickly accelerate your point of mastery, your mastery of metaphysical techniques. And he uses this one device that it's sort of like an e-meter in Scientology. Yeah. And I searched for it, and I found some devices that are sort of like that, but it has nothing to do with Scientology. The technology talking about Scientology does use, but it's not. This book is not teaching Scientology. It has nothing to do with Scientology. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Very interesting. So he has a vision of a man with fluffy hair, like a lot of hair, unlike me. It's not me, obviously, because the guy has a lot of hair. And he has a vision of this man going through time itself and meeting Marie Antoinette and prophesying to her death. Yeah. And this man has powers and stuff like that. And so he encounters another man. And this man is in purple, and his name is the Man in Purple. And this man says, "You're basically me, but in the past. And excuse me. You were also Abraham Lincoln and all these mighty, all of these mighty historical figures and masters." And he says, "But I gotta tell you, that man works for the devil. And the devil is actually from Saturn." What? He's from Saturn. And he told the universe, or at least our solar system, our galaxy, that the real power is in yourself, not in God. And that's very bad. And if we don't fix it, this whole galaxy could be destroyed. But if he gets it his way, we will be destroyed. We will be destroyed, but if we get it our way, he will be destroyed. So it's very complicated. Now, when I read this, I said, "What?" Because New Thought Christians don't really believe in the devil. Or if they believe in the devil, they don't believe he's from Saturn, he's an alien. Or if they do, they tell no one. So it's very peculiar that way. So some of these things may make people not want to practice the techniques in this book, and I understand that. Because he basically lost me when he started doing drugs. So I can't really say if most of the teachings in here are an hallucination, but I'm going to be honest and say they sound a lot like it. But if you're hallucinating, why something so specific as aliens from Saturn and ruling the galaxy? But even in New Age tropes, such as the age of Pisces, or co-creating with God, or whatever, you don't hear much mention of Satan. Satan it's not talked about, because most New Agers or New Thought Christians as well don't believe in the devil. And believe if you believe in the devil, you're giving power to the thought of the devil. Anyway, so he's offered a piece of paper, and they say, if you sign this, we'll give you all power. Just sell your soul to the devil, or something. It says something to that effect on the piece of paper. And he doesn't sign it. So the Man in Purple comes, he rips it in half, and that's the end of the book. Lots to think about. He doesn't advocate using drugs, though. I must be honest. Even though he does use drugs just to see if you can get to a higher level of consciousness. Yes, yeah. So that's all about that book. And this book is very rare. You can find it on Amazon for higher prices than you find them as an ebook. And as a hardcover book that you'll find on Amazon, it's going to be old. There's been no updated version of this book. So the ebook is the best option, and I'll post a link to that. It's called The Greatest Power in the Universe by U.S. Anderson. So I hope you guys enjoy. Gave you much to think about. Yep.